Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Project Auto YouTube channel. Thanks so much for stopping by. And in today's video, as you might have seen from the title, I want to talk about the 5 things I love about my 2018 Dodge Challenger GT. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, so for the first thing that I love about my Dodge Challenger is the perfect mixture between performance and fuel economy. So for those of you who don't know, the Dodge Challenger was offered with a V6 engine paired with the 8-speed automatic. The V6 was available with the SXT and the GTs. This one is the GT, which is the Grand Touring. So I have the 3.6 liter V6 that produces 305 horsepower. And it also gets fantastic fuel economy. So tons of power, 305 horse may not sound like a whole lot. But, for this car, it's actually pretty decent. You know what? Let me just show you. So as you can see, the 0 to 60 time is 6.5 seconds. The best was 6 seconds flat, but I wasn't able to beat that in that short clip there. But I wanted to show you. So 6 seconds at its best, 0 to 60 time. Not terrible at all. And then it gets great fuel economy. So generally I average 300 to 400 miles to a tank. And generally the average miles per gallon is anywhere from 24 on the low end up to 35 on the high end. And again, that all depends on your driving habits, whether or not it be, highway, city, if you like to drive kind of, fast or accelerate quickly. It all depends on your driving habits, but driving normally, you can actually get decent fuel economy out of this. I did drive this all the way down to Tennessee, down to Gatlinburg, and I was able to get there on 1.5 tanks of fuel. Parts of that trip, I was driving a little, faster and accelerated kind of heavy, and then you're going through the mountains, so that did affect it as well. But that's still great fuel economy, and you still have tons of power when you need it. So let's move on to reason number 2. All right, so reason number 2 that I love this Dodge Challenger is its styling. So the Dodge Challenger is a very iconic car from the 70s. It had the really long front end, short back end, low roof, just that iconic styling. And when Dodge revamped and brought back the Dodge Challenger, and I believe it was model year 2009, correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong, when they brought this one back, they kept that same iconic styling with some modern updates, right? So in 2015, they gave it another refresh, and that included the LED lights up front. So you get the LED headlights, turn signals, LED tail lights, and reverse lights as well. We'll show you back here. So, it's got that same iconic styling as the old Challengers did, but it's got that nice modern look to it as well. So I really love the fact that Dodge was able to do that and kept that classic styling and also added in the modern touches that we would all like to see and enjoy. All right, the third reason that I absolutely love my Dodge Challenger is cargo space. So this is a fairly decent sized car, and it doesn't really lack that much in cargo space. Dodge was able to provide you with a decent amount. Okay, you got to remember it's a 2-door car. It is a sports muscle car, so it's not going to have, your minivan storage, but this is a perfect road trip car. My wife and I, we took our honeymoon down to Tennessee, and we drove this car all the way down to Tennessee. It was just her and I, but we had tons of room inside. We were comfortable, and we had tons of room in the trunk for our luggage and also stuff that we brought back with us. So I will go ahead and open up this trunk really quickly for you. I've got a couple shoes in there, so ignore that. But a decent-sized trunk, and those rear seats up there do fold down in a 60-40 split. So you can fold those down if you need to put something a little bit longer in here. So the trunk's pretty good size. Back seat is okay. As far as passenger room for adults, I have ridden back here. Not for, you know, a 6-hour road trip, but I have ridden back here for probably about an hour, hour and a half, and I've been okay. But like I said, those seats do fold down for more cargo space. So I do like the fact that, you know, you have the decent sized trunk and you can, you know, take this on a road trip if that's something you wanted to do. And you'd have the fun of being in a muscle car, sports car, and all your luggage. All right, so for the fourth thing that I absolutely love about my Dodge Challenger, and this is going to kind of be a whole bunch of things, and we're going to go inside the car here in just a moment. But the fourth thing is all of the tech and the gadgets that you get in this car, and also have a mixture of the old school. So let's go ahead and jump on it right on in. So part of that tech is the keyless entry system. So you can just grab there, open the door. The old school stuff that I'm talking about is the mechanical, you know, parking brake. You don't have an electronic parking brake. So things like that, that a lot of newer cars are going to all that electronic, you know, parking brakes and shifters. I do like the fact that this has an old school T shifter, so that's pretty cool. But the tech in this car is just absolutely loaded. Now, this is all going to vary depending on what trim level you get. They do have the base models, they have the SXT, they have the GTs, and of course you have the, you know, the RTs and the Scat Packs. So everything's gonna be a little bit different. But this is the GT, which, like I said, stands for Grand Touring. So this is kind of the luxury-ish, if you will. So if you notice, we have the black leather seats. Okay, so and these are heated and ventilated. So you have a fan that will help cool you down in the summertime. And I will go ahead and turn the electric on here. Okay, there we go. So like I said, all the tech and the gadgets in this car is actually pretty decent. So we're going to go through the screen here. All of this was covered in depth in my review video that I did in the walkthrough. I will put a link in the description to get you to that video if you would like to watch that. It is fairly long, but I do go over everything in this car. So you have 9 different screens to go through here, all with different information for you. And you also have sub menus in some of these, so trips. And then you have, in your fuel economy, you have several different options there. Driver assist, performance. So you can see all those sub menus down at the bottom. So you have all of that. And then you also have, you know, your vehicle information. So trans temp, all that good stuff. You have the 8.4-inch Uconnect screen, which is packed loaded, full of stuff. All right. So, like I said, this 8.4-inch Uconnect screen is packed full of different apps, settings. You have Wi-Fi hotspot. Like I said, I covered all this in depth in that review, but this is just give you an overlook here. So we have all these different menus. So I love the tech in this car. Heated, cooled seats, like I said. This one is equipped with the forward collision warning, adaptive cruise. So those were some options as well. It's got the Bluetooth. You do have the garage home link right up there. So that's neat. And this one has the moonroof, power moonroof. So lots of good tech and gadgets in this car. Push button start, of course. But yeah, I absolutely love the tech. Even for a 2018, it doesn't feel outdated to me. I know a lot of folks were ragging on Dodge for, you know, sticking with the mechanical parking brake and sticking with a standard, you know, styled shifter and not doing the electronic rotary knob and, you know, and electronic parking brakes and all that stuff. But I think this car is actually well designed. I think it's aged pretty well. The outside still looks great, still looks modern, and you still have all this tech on the inside that's still pretty modern. Even the navigation system in here is still up to date. So a lot of good tech, a lot of good features in this car, and I absolutely love it. So that's number 4. Let's move on to the last final thing that I love about this Dodge Challenger. All right, so the last thing that I want to go over that I absolutely love about my Dodge Challenger, and I'm going to show you right back here. This might tell you what it is. Right there. That 4 stands for all-wheel drive. So this Challenger is equipped with the all-wheel drive system. So and it's an all-time system. So when it's below a certain temperature or if it's wet outside, this car is automatically in all-wheel drive. If it is 80 degrees and sunny, generally it is in rear-wheel drive, but it is a seamless and smooth transition from rear-wheel to all-wheel drive. You don't notice it. The car does it by itself, and there is a sub-menu in that center instrument cluster screen that will show you the status of the all-wheel drive system. So I love that. I love the fact that this thing has the all-wheel drive system, and that kind of ties in with the performance and the fuel economy. So that was part of the reason why I picked a GT Challenger over a Scat Pack or an RT. For one thing, those things are outrageously expensive, especially to buy new. I bought this one used, got a great deal on it. But I wanted good fuel economy, I wanted good power, and I was really hoping for all-wheel drive. Now, Dodge was the only manufacturer that had a muscle sports car, whatever you want to call it, that offered all-wheel drive. So you have the Camaro, rear-wheel drive only. You have the Mustang, rear-wheel drive only. All of those cars, they're only rear-wheel drive, or some of the other ones like the Nissans, the front-wheel drive, whatever. Nobody made a muscle sports car that offered all-wheel drive, and so that makes this car very practical, fun to drive, and still gives you that comfort and that, I don't know how you want to describe it, but just driving that muscle car and that sports car, like, yeah, it still gives you the thrill, but you have the amenities and the tech and the safety features and the all-wheel drive that those other manufacturers didn't offer. Now, most people that buy a two-door muscle car, sports car, they buy it understanding that it is a summertime car, rear-wheel drive. It's meant to fly down the road and whatever. But Dodge was able to incorporate a good mixture of all of that, and that's why I love it. That is probably my favorite feature about this car, and that is why I picked the GT with the all-wheel drive system over any other Challenger or sports car. Now, when I was looking for this car, I did look at a Mustang that had the 5.0, and I also looked at a Mustang that had a V6. Both of those were very, very good cars, and I'm not going to rag on Ford. I'm not going to rag on the Mustangs, but the interiors did seem a little bit smaller, so I wasn't a fan of that. And then when I heard the Dodge had all-wheel drive, I started looking into it, and I realized, wow, I could get a Challenger all-wheel drive or even a Charger all-wheel drive, but I wanted to get the Challenger, so I settled on the Challenger. So that is the fifth and final thing that I absolutely love about my 2018 Dodge Challenger GT all-wheel drive. Alrighty, guys, so I think that's going to do us. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you guys have a Challenger, show me. I want to see your guys' Challenger. I love this car. I'm going to keep it for a long, long time. And I plan to do some upgrades to it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but this car will be on the channel very, very soon. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Big thumbs up. Sorry, we're gonna stop rambling. I love this car. I want to get in and take a ride right now. Stop rambling. So, give it a thumbs up if you're stopping by for the first time and you haven't already and you want to. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.